Welcome to Massive Beers. My name is Matt, and we do beer stuff here. Yeah, even when we got a little bit of a little nasally cold thing, maybe not the best sniffer in the world, but we're going to power through it first with a mystery beer. Obviously, when we need all our senses about us, we pull out the mystery beers. This actually comes courtesy of my boy Matt from up Albany way. Beer Tube Palooza, hung out, chilled the guys, did a bunch of fun stuff. While I was there, met up with a couple people that, fans of the channel. And one of those people was Matt. He actually reached out to me a couple times previously to be like, oh, where you traveling to when I'm coming up upstate New York. And it's always been over more in the western part of the state. And this time I was up in the stomping grounds. He's like, hey man, I'd love to toss you some mystery beers. He actually came and hung out with us at Beer Tube Palooza on Saturday, so it was very fun hanging out with him. But he dropped a couple mystery beers on me. He's big into beer. He works at one of the better beer stores out there, so I'm kind of curious to see where the sucker goes. Can, black cap. Gives me kind of Alchemist vibes whenever I see those black caps, so we'll see what's what. So he said, look at that, I'm the best at pouring beers. It's actually not my fault. It's the foam. When that beer hits, like, the foam and the sticker, it just goes insane. It's kind of how mystery beers go, so I should have been smart enough to pull that off to the side. Although, yeah, I don't think maybe that would have helped at all. But yeah, like I said, a little bit under the weather, sniffer-wise. But we're going to power through it. I mean, getting a nose in this beer is going to be next to impossible. But I will tell you this. With how this is exploding out of this can, paper and tape involved, I don't know. Kind of makes me want to lean like farmhousey or something along those lines. So, or it could be macro, for all we know. We don't know. So far, what we have is 19 billion miles of head in this very... It's not like macro lager clear, but it's getting close to that kind of clearness. It's like the thing's full, but it's so light, so it has that going for you. We'll do the old waxiness, get rid of the head trick so I can actually get a nose in this sucker, if it'll actually work. I know this is probably one of the worst things you could do with a beer, but hey, I want to actually smell it, and with the nose being not what it is. What did I say? Waxy? Oily. Sorry. See if we can get a nose and won't cup it. Yeah, honestly, it really does come off as like something. It comes off macro lager. Like, to be perfectly honest with you, it comes off as like. Let me reverse. It comes off old school lager. I don't want to say macro. I want to say Bavaria. It's like almost like one of the beers I bought at the place that he worked at was the Hofbrau 3.3. It kind of has that thing going for it. So it's like this German, Austrian kind of lager base. That's how it's coming off me on a nose, at least, with not much else to it. A nice soft little grain, maybe a tiniest bit of bittering. Done and done. So I'm actually just going to dive in and taste. Might fare a little bit better there, or even worse. Cheers. There's a decent amount of bittering here. There's a graininess to it that kind of, for me, kind of leans into wheat. Getting like very much like fest vibes from this. Like lighter German-esque kind of fest vibes. I wonder if this is a very much like Schilling vibes from this. I know they have quite a bit of Schilling stuff there, so kind of like what Schilling would do as like a low ABV wheat fest beer. That's kind of where my palate's going on this one, because I almost wanted to go just, hey, it's somebody's, like, some American brewery's version of a German-style fest beer, but to me, honestly, it really does have this kind of wheat characteristic, so I want to say a fest beer that has a wheat base to it. It doesn't have this, like, big traditional wheat beer kind of banana or bubblegummy phenolic going on, but the wheat in this, the grain in this, comes off very much wheat forward. It's a decent pop of bittering. That's why I think it's an American brewery. I don't think they'd combine those two. It's almost like a summer wheat. Yeah, I like it. I really do. Super well made. Super clean. Even though that has that subtle kind of unfiltered kind of thing going for it, it doesn't come off as like anything other than a super snappy, super clean, super well made kind of wheat beer. So it almost might be somebody's Pilsner with wheat, like a Czech Pils with wheat. Maybe even like this all has like subtle Swords vibes to it. You know, I think it's actually really that well made. So it could be uber traditional brewer. It could be uber new school American brewer who's doing the traditional-esque thing on their side of things. That's where I'm going with this, because it does have that bittering. It's a little bit more pronounced. So I'm going to say this is somebody's 4.6% fest beer that is wheat grain driven. I'll look at the bottom now. Can conditioned. Okay, very cool. So let's dive into it. I think it's a Schilling beer. No, I think Schilling dates their cans on the bottom, so I don't think it's a Schilling beer now. Let's see if we get this tape. Find the beginning of it. Ah, there we go. I thought it was all in on the beginnings. And there we go. And voila. Alchemist. Farmer's Dog. 7%. This is 7%. That's crazy. God, right in the beginning I was like, makes me think of Alchemist. A Farmer's Daughter, it's a Belgian-style Saison. 7%. This does not drink like 7% for me. This Saison is brewed with Saaz Pilsner malt and Saison yeast. It's the Saison yeast, I guess, that's making me go towards that kind of wheat thing, because they just talk about Pilsner malt. It is an international nod to traditional Saisons, a distinct Alchemist character. That's that bittering that I was talking about. To hear what John has to say about this beer, visit our YouTube channel. YouTube channel is what it's called. We can say those words. Alchemist beer. You know, I think I've reviewed this straight up. If I haven't, I've had it before when I went out and visited The Alchemist. When I went and interviewed John, my favorite interview I've done in all of podcastum, because he's awesome. It has nothing to do with me. Yeah. So I was 3 and change off. No, 2 and change off. I called it somebody's wheat-based fest beer. This is a Belgian style Saison, which is really funny, because I'm like, it doesn't really get that like bubblegum, phenolic, and it's in there because it's Belgian, but it's a Saison. The Saison yeast, I think, is what really did me in as far as me screwing the pooch on this. I'll tell you what, leading up to everything, I suck at this because now I taste everything. Leading up to Beer Tube Palooza, the months leading into this year, I went on basically had a hunger strike on mystery beers. Didn't do mystery beers for almost 3-4 months, and then I started to get a couple, and I got a ton of them from my buddy Cameron, my buddy Corey. I got a bunch of mystery beers, and I got a bunch of mystery beers from Matt, and I got a bunch of mystery beers from Steven. So I'm kind of like ensconced in mystery beers right now, so it'll be fun to get back into them, because I've been really poopy stinky at them as of late. Good practice. It was a lot easier when you're doing them all the time. I can blame the old Chinasse. A little bit stuffy, a little bit off my game. I can blame my time away from mystery beers. Well, you know what? I'm not gonna blame anybody. My palate sucks. This beer's good. That's all that matters. So thank you very much, Matt, for this. This is a very fun one. Can't wait to dive in the others. Yeah. Is it one of the better Belgian Saisons I've had? It's like, yes. It is. That's what it is. I'm wrong. Everything I said was wrong. I know it's a little bit different when you know the beer and you can, No. It's a Belgian Saison. It is. Through and through. And I just screwed the pooch. So, it's tasty. It's fun. Let's talk about it. Have you had mystery beers? Because they're the funnest. Let's talk about those. Have you had this beer? Have you had this beer lately? Have you had this batch? Which, it's the Alchemist, and there's no date in the can, so I don't know how old it is. Matt, please let us know down below on a date if you know, or when you picked it up at least. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you enjoy mystery beers. Hope we'll see you next time. Cheers, y'all.